Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. XRP Sol 2025 unveils, quote, infinite money glitch, unquote. Crypto founder says, quote, this is a dream come true, unquote. Okay guys, let's get into it. Okay, so we're getting to that point now in terms of adoption where we can start to see the benefits of being a crypto holder in general, but obviously including XRP, because this is the kind of stuff that people have been waiting for, right? In terms of, you know, the ones who don't ever want to sell their XRP, they may just want to try and get passive income off of XRP, they may want to borrow against their XRP, you know, that kind of thing where they're not having to sell their XRP, but they're still managing to utilize it in a way that still makes them money, and they could potentially, depending on how much they hold, make, you know, a living off of this, you know, make enough to get by. So let's get into this then. What are we talking about here? We're talking about XRP. XRP is like a network, and it is something that's like trying to be like a DeFi project. And so they've basically released MXRP. So what is MXRP? It's the first ever liquid staking token on the XRP ledger. Okay, so again, it's designed to create passive income. So DeFi we're talking about here. And let's get into what we're talking about with regards to the infinite money glitch. So a 10% APY liquid staking solution for XRP holders. Unveiled by Georgios Vlachos, co-founder of Gensler Network, MXRP allows users to stake their XRP and receive MXRP tokens in return. The users can then use this liquid derivative token across DeFi protocols while continuing to earn staking rewards. Interestingly, Vlachos described the initiative as an, quote, infinite money glitch, unquote, highlighting the compounding potential of earning yield while maintaining capital liquidity. Hyperrhythm, a leading Korean digital asset management firm, will manage the deposited XRP assets. Meanwhile, Midas, a tokenization platform with over 1.22 billion in total value locked in brackets TVL, is responsible for designing the product structure. In this model, if profits are not realized or losses occur, Hyperrhythm and XRP will take responsibility. Notably, the target annual return for MXRP is 10%. This unveiling has sparked significant excitement in the XRP community. Quote, this is a dream coming true, unquote. Panos Mekras, co-founder of Anodus Finance, expressed strong support for the project. According to him, MXRP will be the biggest catalyst for XRP adoption and activity this last quarter. He emphasized that earning a 10% APY on XRP through DeFi yield simply by holding MXRP is a major opportunity. Mekras also pointed to the low risk nature of providing liquidity via an XRP/MXRP pool. He suggested that it could quickly become the top liquidity pool on XRPL due to minimal impermanent loss and dual yield potential. Quote, this is a dream coming true, unquote, Mekras concluded. And then we've got, quote, next big wave of adoption for the ledger, unquote. So that was about Crypto Eri, who did a bit of filming in regards to this event and some of the actual presentation here, and she said, yeah, she reckons this is the next big wave of adoption for XRP. Okay, so I wanted to get into this then. This is an incredible opportunity, absolutely, of course. This is the kind of thing, as I said, that people have been waiting for. This is the kind of thing that people want crypto, you know, for, really. Like, a lot of people are at this point now where they don't want to sell XRP or, you know, whatever crypto they believe in. They think about holding it for the long term because they believe, you know, it's going to be massively adopted. And so if they think this is going to be basically an asset that's vital in the future to, you know, the industry, to the crypto industry and beyond, then this is going to be valuable. And so why sell it if you can kind of borrow against it, or you can lend it out, or you can stake it, you know, and get basically like passive income, or, you know, collateral, use it as collateral to get money, where you can do it in a tax-free way, a tax-efficient way, where you still get to keep the money and you don't have to lose the XRP if you manage to do it without getting liquidated. So these are all possibilities that are now coming true, right? These are all the things that we was hoping for and expecting. In regards to what they're talking about here, the infinite money glitch, it's basically what they're trying to say is that you're holding a token that's then giving you money that you can use to invest into another token, or it invests back into XRP. So you basically, it's like compound interest, basically, if you've ever heard of that. It's kind of like, let's just say I was to invest into a stock, and then that stock was to give me derivatives. So it gives me, every, let's just say, quarter of a year, each quarter they'll give me a certain amount of derivatives. And so what you can do with that derivative, you can either have it as cash, which that's cool because it's still money that you've had, that obviously, just for holding, because you're holding the share because you believe in the, the company that you invested in, but you get money just for investing into that company. So you're getting free money basically, or you can use that to buy more of the stock, right? So you can say, well, whatever I get with this derivative, so let's just say each quarter you get, let's just say $400. You can say, don't give me that money as cash, invest it back into that company, that stock. And then so that money keeps adding in, and your stake in that company is growing more and more. And as the company does hopefully continue to grow, because you've got a higher stake in it, you're earning more money and you're getting more value as well, because you're getting more stock out of the company and the company's stock is going higher. So eventually it's just like a compounding effect. And so this is what they're basically talking about here. You're getting that kind of compound interest effect here. It's an amazing thing. It really is, definitely. Now, just on that note, because I always try and give you like the balance. So we have got here, expert says no to XRP 8 to 10% return offerings. Here's why. The person they're referring to here is digital asset investor. And he's basically saying he's not willing to do this. And the reason why he's saying that is because he doesn't feel there's enough security at the moment in place for him to be willing to take this kind of risk. And, he's referring to like things that have happened in the past with like Ponzi schemes. And so he's saying like until there's like a thing where you can take out an insurance policy on his XRP, he's not willing to take that gamble. And so I did just want to give you the other side of this. I'm not here to say that this is a good or a bad thing in terms of what the opportunity is. It is great because you've got to understand this. In life, there's always risk, right? You guys just getting into XRP or crypto alone is a risk, because as much as we believe in it, something could happen tomorrow which, could mess up everything. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I think that will happen. Absolutely not. I think everything will be fine. I think crypto's here to stay. I think that's quite evident. But what I'm just saying is that you don't know what the future holds, right? So there's always an element of risk in life. Now, sometimes the risk can be very low, which, that can be the case, or sometimes it can be a lot higher, or sometimes it can be in between. And so what we're saying here is there is risk to this. So you have got to just acknowledge that and take that on board. It doesn't sound like it's higher risk to me, but again, I can't, I don't know the company. I don't know their background. I don't know how things are going to go. I can't say anything for sure, right? So I'm not here to kind of recommend this because I'm not in a position to, right? I've not used it myself. I don't know the guys who are behind this company. I don't know what their ultimate plans are. So I can only tell you from what I can see. It seems cool, but I would say do your own research. Make sure it's something that you're comfortable with. Don't just go off of what influencers are saying. Just look into it, see what you think, see if it's something that you feel you're happy to take the risk on doing, because there is an element of risk there. Please make no mistake about that. Even if it is low, there is still always that little bit of risk regardless. But look, the opportunity is massive, and I do think over time there will be more reassurances. I do think there will be things where it'll be a lot more safer, just because crypto will be more widely adopted, so it'll become a lot more like traditional finance in that regard. As it stands now, the opportunity is there. If you guys like the idea of this, it's something that could be good. It's this thing where you've got an opportunity to basically, earn some yield on your XRP, for example, while you're in the bull run, like waiting for the bull run to come. Because let's just say, for example, you get to a point where we go into a bear market and we've got, let's just say 4 years. So that's typically how long it takes. So let's just say we've got like 4 years that we've got to wait for the next bull run. Well, you could just sit there and think, well, if I've still got like X amount of XRP left over and I don't intend to sell this, I'm waiting, I might as well sit and get a yield on it. So it's actually earning me something while it's just sitting there, right? So look, for me, full transparency, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this yet. It's something that I will have to look into a bit more. I do still think it's great that these kind of things are coming forward, these kind of products, because this is the kind of stuff that people want. And I think this is the kind of stuff that is going to get the banks on their toes, because these are the kind of yields that people will be closing their savings accounts for, because they're going to think, well, why have this money just sitting in cash here earning like 0.01% or something stupid like that, when I could, convert it into XRP and get 10% on my savings, So this is where I talk about, like, banks don't like the idea of this, because these kinds of offerings of yield, it's stuff that the banks don't want to compete with. They don't want to have to try and offer these kinds of yield amounts, because that's cutting into their profits, right? You know what I mean? So they're not going to like this, but this is where the future is going. So I like that this is happening. I think more stuff like this will come. As I say, from what I have seen, XRP does seem like a really good network. So, that's all I can really say. But please don't just take my word for it. Please do your own research. Make sure it's something that you're actually comfortable with. But this is a great opportunity, and I'm sure there'll be more of this to come. So keep an eye out and see if this is something that you feel that you'll be comfortable with trying out. And if it is, the opportunity is there. It's all yours. So I think this is something that's at least worth looking into, and I will be looking into it myself. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but it's definitely something that I will be looking into, because it's a possibility. It is definitely a possibility, but that's something I have to weigh up in my head, and you guys have to weigh it up in your head too, to see if it's a risk that you're willing to take. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.